it's just my accent has like a inbuilt echo.
Mm.
I don't like the thought of that, because that means like people from Essex will continue to reverberate for eternity, which actually like genuinely like scares me as a concept.
You think because of the accent, the people of Essex are going to be remembered in history?
Yeah, and that's a worrying implication, genuinely, you know. I just remember, like, I was thinking about what questions I'd like to ask lecturers, like, what interests me about the life of a lecturer? And I was thinking, like, can they cook? Do they do anything other than read books and be literate? You know? do they do anything else with their time? And I don't know, I just thought, well, what's the base requirement of a human being to me? And it's whether they can cook the classical French peasant dish ratatouille, you know?
Yeah.
Because, like, they made a Disney film about it, which seems like it would be a core human experience, though.
Yeah,
you know?
Because the children have to relate somehow.
The children have to relate.
They need to be presented with real-life scenarios.
Yeah. And I think if they can't, then that's just, like, a failure of the educational system, which is the same education system that lecturers are a part of, right?
Right.
Yeah. So, like...
So are you saying we should learn how to make ratatouille in university?
I think what you don't understand is I learned how to make ratatouille in school, right? It was part of my curriculum. It's that they, like, ticked off what's important for a person to do, and they were like, this kid may be illiterate, but she can make a fucking ratatouille, man.
What grade was it that you were taught how to make ratatouille?
I don't even remember. I think it was in year 4. So I was 10, 9.
Very important life skills.
Yeah.
When I was 10 or 9, I was learning the fastest way to change out the filter on a gas mask.
I mean, yeah. Both, like, cool things. If we're in an apocalypse, right, you can stop us from suffocating to death. And, like, I can make us ratatouille.
We would survive fallout.
We would, you know?
I would get us out of the, like, atomic blast radius with my gas mask.
With your
skills.
yeah.
And then in
with
the
your
bunker,
gas mask.
In the bunker, you would make ratatouille.
I'd make ratatouille. I don't know where I'd get the vegetables from. I don't know if there's, like, an impetus in a apocalyptic scenario, right, to make ratatouille or to grow courgettes and aubergines and all the shit that, like, you make ratatouille with. I don't know if there's an impetus for that, but I feel like there should be.
But I think those are things that can be, if you, like, got the seeds at the supermarket.
Yeah.
And then, like, went to the bunker. Put it in the bunker. I feel like that's an easy thing to take with you in the event of
an apocalyptic scenario.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You put the seeds in your bunker.
You put the seeds in the bunker.
And then, you know...
But where do they get the sunlight from?
Well, you put in sunlight lamps, but you would want that anyways if you're planning to live in the bunker.
Yeah.
Because humans need
live
sunlight.
in a bunker?
Like...
Willingly.
What are the things that you do and get out of life? Because there are, like, books I want to read.
Yeah.
And I think
you just have a library.
A bunker would be a great place to do that.
There's a Twilight Zone episode about that. I don't actually remember what happens there, but there is an episode about the Twilight Zone where he's like, oh, it's the apocalypse, I can fucking read now, right? I can, like, read, because that's... What else do you do in an apocalyptic scenario?
I don't know.
You know?
Not yet.
I just thought, given the current political situation, it's something people should give thought to. People talk about their gut a lot, like their gut tells them this and their gut tells them that, right? Like, it's normally to do with, like, survival instincts or, like, whether you should break up with somebody. Love, happiness, sadness, basic human emotions. Mine just tells me that in an apocalyptic scenario, the people that will thrive are professional professional bowlers, right? I think I establish this with you. That's the only thing I think. Like, when I go think about what my gut has told me in my life, all it's like, if it's an apocalypse, find your local Hollywood Bowl and like see who spends a bit too much time there.
Why?
Right?
What skills do you think a bowler has that will help them survive
That's
the
the thing, I
apocalypse?
don't know. You need to ask my gut, not me. Because all my gut tells me, right, is that they wouldn't do very well in a Mad Max apocalypse scenario, right? Like, I don't think they do very well driving. Because that's not where their skill set lies. You know? But I also think they do very well, like, in a nuclear fallout.
But why?
I don't have a reason for why. I just think that they would. I'm not saying any of this makes sense. I'm just saying that's what, like, my soul tells me is right with the world. You know?
So when you hear, you know, the atom bombs being dropped,
Yeah.
you're running to somebody who professionally uses the first 3 fingers on their hands
Yes.
for about like an hour a day.
Exactly what I do. You know? I don't even, like, say goodbye to my parents. I don't hug my family. I run to the local, like, Big Lebowski. You know?
Yeah.
And I like, mate, fucking take me on. I will be your apprentice. If you...
Amazing. So you're simultaneously, your apocalypse survival plan is to be a professional bowler.
Yeah. I think I'd be pretty good at it. You know? Once again, that's what my gut tells me. You know? People talk about prophetic individuals.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just...
You're the Jesus Christ of bowling.
I am exactly the Jesus Christ of bowling. You know? I mean, I'm literally telling them that they are the key to save the world. Like, it's a fucking Jason Statham film.
But I suppose if you're telling them that they'll save the world, then you're just like a prophet. And the bowlers are the Jesus Christ.
True. I genuinely am, like, the person who foresees the doom of humanity. You know? Oh, the US announces more than 500 sanctions against Russia.
Time to get the seeds, get the bowler, and go to your bunker.
And go to the fucking, No, I wouldn't even be in a bunker. I trust, you know, the art of bowling to save me. You know?
I would love to deep dive
But the thing
further
is,
into this.
no, genuinely though, like, the fact that a lot of these bowling places still exist, despite deindustrialization, despite, you know, who the fuck actually goes there, right? Beyond, like, the occasional kid's birthday party, right? Like, who goes there? They've, like, survived history at this point. They've survived capitalism, and you don't think they could survive nuclear radiation?
I'm wondering when bowling was invented.
Would that help you in any way?
I'm wondering how much it survived through.
So you're agreeing with me that there's a prophetic aspect to my gut telling me that people who bowl would, like, really thrive in the apocalypse?
The earliest known forms of bowling date back to ancient Egypt.
That's what I'm saying. It's existed since ancient Egypt, right? It's existed for that long. That boring of sport has lasted for that long, right? When, like, so many others have, like, failed and curled up and died, right? And you're telling me that it wouldn't survive an apocalypse?
And then in 1366, the first official mention of bowling in England was made when King Edward III banned it as a distraction to archery practice.
See, it survived the monarchy. It survived the monarchy, and we're saying that, you know, North Korea would wipe off the face of the earth. I don't think so. You know?
So cockroaches and bowling.
Yeah. Cockroaches, bowling, and Twinkies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Twinkies are already radioactive. Like, I don't think exposure to radiation would damage them any further.
Well, you'd know more about this than me, because I've never had a Twinkie. In my primary school, I used to do, like, competitions to see how quickly you could change a conversation, right? in class.
What in the world were you doing in primary school? Ratatouille
Yeah.
and a conversation-changing competition.
Yeah, but I mean, one of those wasn't sanctioned by the school.
Which one?
What do you think? Yeah, we did Ratatouille as a part of our, like, classes, right? But we didn't, like, it was just amongst students. We just tried to change the conversation as quickly as possible.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, I was wondering why you were making unsanctioned Ratatouille on school grounds.
Yeah, no, it was deplorable, Ratatouille. It was, like, so scary.
The Ratatouille gangs.
Genuinely, right? I was... There's an illegal trade of Ratatouille. Do you think that's why our lecturers never bothered to learn? They were just so, like, loyal to the law that they're just like, I can't stand to see young people. That just makes it seem like we're talking about cooking meth. We're not talking about cooking meth here, right? Do I sound like someone who do fucking meth?
Yes.
Okay. I also look like one, so I can't even say anything. You know? I feel like I look... Because, once again, I've been researching those mummies. I feel like I look like a mummy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are quite pale.
I know, I'm pale and all my features are, like, sunk into my flesh in a way that you might only see on a rotting corpse. You know?
Yeah.
And, like, I'm okay with that.
Do you want to explore why you're okay with that? This is feeling like a therapy session.
I don't want it to sound like a therapy session, but, like, what the fuck am I gonna do about it? You know? It's not like you can get, like, plastic surgery to, like, lift your face forward. You know?
The mummy plastic surgery. Do you want to look more alive?
But, like, there's so many, like... There's, like, you can get, like, a vampire facial.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, they're already going into the realm of ghouls and godlings. You know? Beauty's already going in that direction of wanting to look like Nosferatu, right?
Yeah.
I'm just, like, ahead of the curve.
So you think Nosferatu's 1?
Yeah.
And then the mummy is 2?
Yeah.
Do you think we're eventually going to reach... Well, I suppose we've already reached Frankenstein.
I think we're going to reach the Loch Ness Monster at some point. Yeah.
Scaly, green, living in lakes.
No, I think number 1, ghosts. Number 2, Nosferatu. Number 3, the mummy.
What has the makeup industry done to promote ghost-like appearance?
Well, honestly, the recent, like, Margiela show was pretty... I know it wasn't about ghosts, but they all look like dolls, and the dolls could be possessed. You know? Ooh. It's haunted, I told you. It's haunted. We are haunted. What would you do if you were possessed?
Well, would I be able to do anything about it?
Oh, that's actually true. What would you do if I was possessed? I don't think you'd notice a difference, but, like, what would you do, theoretically, if you did?
I was literally about to say what you just said, in that I don't know if I would notice. I might think you were acting a bit weird, but it was just what you were doing at that time.
Yeah. But, like, okay, let me frame this in a different way. If you noticed... Okay, no, that could be actual behaviour for me. I was like, if I start speaking in a weird accent, yeah. If I start walking on the walls... But no, you'd have to, like, understand if I started, like, walking on the walls, because I don't have the dexterity for that. I don't go to the gym enough to theoretically be able to do that.
I mean, beyond the fact that it's not physically possible.
Didn't think about that one.
Well, like, I don't know, if you started walking on the walls, if you went, like, down the stairs in a, like, a bridge position with your head, like, twirling around, you know... I guess I'd read the final rites. You know, I'd go Catholic.
Oh, yeah. You get your rosary beads out.
I used to have a friend
Yeah.
who would, whenever I was drinking something, go... "Wood, wood, 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 wood." And it's really distracting when you're drinking.
No, I think the funniest thing to do is when someone's sleeping, going like, me, 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 me.
So you hate your friends, is what you're saying?
I despise them. I grind their bones to a small powder. And then, like, the Europeans in early modern Europe, I use it as a cure-all for my depression. Yeah.
Have you experienced success with this method so far?
I will. I haven't been able to enact this plan yet, but I think it would work.
You're looking at me like I'm the next victim.
Yeah, you are. Back to the ratatouille question, because, like, I think you really want to explore this. None of them know how to make a bloody ratatouille, right? You don't know how to make a ratatouille. Our lecturers don't know how to make a ratatouille, right? Your parents don't know how to make a ratatouille. My therapist doesn't know how to make a ratatouille.
My mother knows how to make a ratatouille.
Your mother knows how to make a ratatouille.
And she enjoys it. Like, she would eat it.
Yeah, it's a good dish. You're just, like, allergic to vegetables.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're like a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm actually 3 5-year-olds stacked in a trench coat.
Like on top of each other?
No, side by side.
Yeah. I kind of like the idea of us being Sigma males.
Why is that?
I don't know. I think it sounds better. Because, like, if you think about alpha particles, right? They get stopped by, like, everything. And I don't want to get stopped by anything in life.
That's such an alpha male thing to say.
That's what you say. I don't want to be an alpha male because I'd get stopped by a piece of paper. I can't have that, right? Documents can't hold me down. Court documents can't stop me. Okay?
Are you actually Andrew Tate in disguise of a
I take off my
19-year-old
wig.
white girl?
Honestly. No, because I'm the actual, like, I'm the PhD holder of Hustlers University. I'm, you know, alpha. I'm so alpha, I've become omega.
Are you saying it's a full circle?
But that's the thing, right? If we think about it in particles, then, like, alpha male particles get stopped by, like, a piece of paper. They get stopped by their court documents. Omega particles can make it through anything. They're just less, like, flashy about it, right? I'm not flashy about my masculinity because I'm just so masculine it passes through any, like, thing I've got in life.
It permeates.
It permeates. That's a very big word for this.
Yeah. I noticed you using big words in seminar responses, and it makes me feel stupid.
You don't like my big words?
You used lackadaisical the other day.
Yeah, lackadaisical, because that's the thing I felt when I was watching the scene. I thought it was lackadaisical. I haven't thought about the word lackadaisical in years, because I don't have a reason to use it. But then I was in, like, the discussion, and I was like, well, it's lackadaisical, and then they asked, you know, the other people asked me, like, well, what the fuck does lackadaisical mean? You know? And, like, I had to look up the definition to explain to them what it means. But, like, it's like lazy.
Yeah.
It's lazy, you know, meandering. That's another big word.
But I had to look it up.
You had to look... I made you look up a word.
Yeah.
The illiterate person made the person who's literate look up a word.
Yeah.
I don't like that I'm saying I'm illiterate that much. I feel like I'm manifesting into life.
As if it's not already manifested. What do you think is the end goal of this podcast? Stacks and stacks of cash.
Honestly, it's for me to have a record of my insanity to give to my therapist. You know, here's the documentation.
Do you also think it's to prove that, like, I'm not just a figment of your imagination?
That's true. But, like, okay, I'm not worried about you being a figment of my imagination. I'm, like, worried about me being a figment of your imagination here.
So when I listen back to this, there won't actually be a second voice?
No. This is like Fight Club. Did you just get spoiled for Fight Club?
No, I've watched
Good,
it.
okay. This isn't a, like, wide-reaching political discussion, right?
Is it not?
I don't think it is. What does the political landscape have to get from that they should be teaching kids have to make ratatouille in school and that they should be employing bowlers in case of an apocalyptic scenario. What do they gain from that, right?
Do you think every public school should have a bowler just in the case of nuclear fallout?
It's like how some schools in America started putting like police officers in school, right? In case of a school shooter.
Yeah.
They should just have like bowlers in like, you know, places with missiles. I think we just start from like the lasagna ratatouille discussion.
Lasagna?
I thought about lasagna the entire
I can make lasagna.
Wow, you can add that then. That, you know, you can make lasagna, but you can't make ratatouille.
Lasagna's better. Ratatouille doesn't have pasta.
But ratatouille is nice because it's actually healthy.
Lasagna's healthy.
And also, to be fair, like, some lasagnas that I've had are, like, absolutely radioactive. You know? They are absolutely, like...
Is that why bowlers will survive nuclear fallout? Because
they don't eat lasagna.
No, they're the people who eat lasagna. So
That's
they have
true,
a tolerance to radiation.
Their, like, body's already gone through a half-life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's end it there, then.
Yeah. Wow.
We found out why I'm prophetic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's... Oh, there's a record button on this.
Well, if we're recording anyway, it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know if it, like, sees... It would be right if it was recording, right?
Yeah. But, like, theoretically, if this podcast does well, it will be my prophetic instinct about bowlers that will be the thing that, you know, makes us stacks and stacks of cash. Right? That gets us, like, bands.